go against the flow.
Laban ako sa agos, I go against the flow.
Against the flow. Against the flow.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Against the Flow. My name is Jordan, and please stick around and join me this next hour because we got lots of great stuff for you. Now, the isolation, stress, and dramatic changes in the pace of life brought about this COVID-19 global pandemic. It has taken toll on mental health, anxiety, and depression. And COVID-19 is really just one of the things we need to worry about. Actually, meron pang tumataas na silent killer, and that is depression. And since October is World Mental Health Month, or we talk about this stuff during this month, let's go ahead and talk about that on this episode. Now, the Bible tells us this in Proverbs 23, verse 7. It says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." So what you think dictates who you really are or what happens to you. So on this episode, we're going to talk about how to have a healthy mind. All right? Let's do that here on ATF.
Hi, I'm Laika Maravilla.
This is Tony Gonzaga.
I'm Ruther Antitoy.
Hi guys, this is Berwin Mailey.
Hi, I'm Kitchinadad.
Hi, I'm Zil.
Hi, we are Christopher.
Hey, what's up guys? I am Jericho Arceo and I go against the flow.
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 Against the flow.
I go against the flow.
Against the flow.
Against the flow. Yahoo!
What's up, everybody? This is DJ Jordan, and I want to invite everyone out there to check out and watch Against the Flow.
Against the flow.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a little time, or take a little break even, if you will, or just go ahead and ride through the storm. I mean, it's gonna happen. We're gonna have bad times talaga. So sabi nga ng isang K-drama, it's okay not to be okay. Or it's alright to not be alright. Pero not all the time, of course. Or our official hashtag para sa episode na to, pakigamit nyo lang ang hashtag ATF Mental Health. So when somebody says, I'm not okay, paborito pa namang sabihin ng mga Pilipino, pag tinatanong, kamusta ka na? Okay lang. Then, maybe they're not really okay kasi lang eh. Di ba? So that's why I like to encourage people, if you're really doing great, say, I'm great, I'm super, I'm awesome. Wag yung okay lang. Pero it's okay lang kung hindi ka naman talaga okay. You know? I mean, I guess you begin with that by acknowledging that you do have some sadness going on. You can't deny it, diba? There's no way around it if you're going through that. Somebody said, I wish I was okay and happy, but I'm not. It's okay to say that. It happens. But I'm going to share to you this verse found in the Bible that I believe will help a lot of us heal better or not get to the point where mahirap nang gumaling. You know, I mean, praise the Lord, He can heal anything, any sickness, no? But I believe that God also provides us some guidance, some wisdom on how to avoid getting sick any further. Look what it says in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 or 9. Brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is holy, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it in practice, and the God of peace will be with you. What do you stuff your brain with? You know, it's important to know what you feed your mind, because whatever you feed your mind, well, that determines if you're going to have a healthy one. Just like with our body. I mean, kung araw-araw kang kakain ng bacon, what do you think that's going to do to your body or your heart? Anong epekto nun? Same thing. What if all you take in is negativity and all the garbage and mess that this world feeds you through the media and wherever you find it, no? Sobrang daming toxic. Now, if your mind can take a selfie kaya, ano kaya yung mga images na makakapture nito? So, I want to encourage you that while you are still, kumbaga, if you're not there yet, no? I mean, a lot of us will get sad, and then there are those who get sickness, no? But for those of you who are not there yet, you can avoid it. You can veer from that direction. How? Well, ganito lang yun eh. Halimbawa, you feed your brain nothing but sadness, no? And then you never look at the bright side or the positive stuff. And puro dark na lang ang finifeel mo dyan. Of course, it's gonna have a bad effect. And then what happens is when someone tries to tell you, hey, lighten up, chill, or do something positive, you're gonna react and say nope. Because of course you're gonna reject that, because it's like this, you're trying to take maintenance pills and then you already have a heart attack. So don't wait till it's too late. So there are those who are clinically diagnosed with depression, and maybe that's the way to go. If you think you have depression, you better go get checked up. Don't try to Google or don't try to self-diagnose yourself if you have it or not. Because there are those then who romanticize stuff too much, even though they don't have it. They just want to say they do because, well, it's like an issue. I mean, it's become popular. Pero hindi naman lahat ganun, syempre. And then, if you ever experienced in high school, ayaw mong pumasok dahil, well, nakakatamad eh. Kaya anong gagawin mo? Kunyari may sakit ka. So, iwasan din natin yung nagsasakit-sakitan tayo. Kasi syempre, minsan masarap ma-baby, masarap mabigyan ng attention. So, this is not the way to go because there are people who are seriously ill with this stuff. So, pag sinabing seek professional help, you need to address the chemical imbalance in your brain and process the traumatic experience in your life. It doesn't mean to dismiss yung spiritual help. Kailangan din nun. You need to fight the suicidal thoughts and the negative stuff that's going in there. So what is a healthy mind? According to the passage we read earlier, it's a mind that is filled with good things. What did it say there? Whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, trustworthy, ito daw ang dapat nandyan. Now, why would the Bible instruct us to have this? Now, could it be that God is telling us to fill our minds with these things? Because, kumbaga, ito yung gulay, ito yung mga prutas, ito yung mga masusustansya mga bagay na kailangan natin punuin yung ating mga isip. So, just as you would not eat bacon, hot dog, crispy pata every day and then you matataka ka na lang bakit yung belly mo ang laki-laki. Ganun din. We won't be wondering anymore our mental state if we're feeding it good mental stuff. Kailangan talaga natin magbago ang isip. Romans chapter 12 tells us that we have to offer ourselves to God as a living and holy sacrifice, yung acceptable sa Kanya, and then we won't conform any longer to the patterns of this world. And then what? And then we will find out God's will, good, pleasing, and perfect. So yung mga bagay na sa Lord talaga, hindi nakaka-depress yun, hindi nakakalungkot. Kaso before we reach that, baka nangyayari sa atin, we conform to this world when we have been given instruction to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. Now, of course, when we put ourselves far or away or we don't know what to do or what God's will is, mas nakakalungkot talaga yan. And that's why the Bible says this also. It says, you set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. Sabi sa Colossians 3:2. And don't be like other people. In Philippians chapter 3, verse 19, it describes how their stomach is their God and then their mind is set only on earthly things. Because in this world, marami talagang nakakalungkot. But we need to think ahead. Kumbaga, ano yung nauso dati? Advance mag-isip. Think about your citizenship in heaven. Think about His kingdom more than the things of this world. Kasi, alimbawa ngayon, malapit na. It's already election season. If you dwell too much on that can be very triggering. Magagalit ka lang or malulungkot ka lang if hindi mo makita yung resulta na gusto mo. So those who live in accordance with the Spirit, on the other hand, sabi sa Romans 8 verse 5, have their minds set on what the Spirit desires.
Hi, we're Glory Fall. With the flow?
No, against the flow, because that's the way to go.
Oh yeah.
This is Against the Flow. We're talking about taking care of your mental health today. Earlier, I told you got to fill it up with good things. The second thing that we learn from the passage that we read in Philippians is that we got to copy the right examples or the good examples. So don't just fill your minds with good things. Also follow the good examples out there. Because the Apostle Paul was talking about how whatever you learn from me, put that into practice. And then he also says, as I follow Christ, you also follow me. So in other words, if I'm not following Christ, don't follow me. Parang ganon. So we need to stop using the wrong examples to justify wrongdoings. Bakit mo ginawa yan? Kasi ginawa nito eh. Parang, syempre, mali din yung gagawin mo. Hanapin mo yung mga tamang ehemplo, yung magandang ehemplo, at yun ang gayahin natin. Sometimes, if you idolize may mga certain celebrities or mga rock stars dahil sa kanilang mga lavish na lifestyle, and you don't know, maybe those guys are even more sad than you are, or some of them are really depressed, and may kilala nga tayo, di ba, nag-suicide pa. Tapos yung pang iidolin mo, di ba? You're gonna idolize those people. So natural, you're gonna end up, not having a good mindset. Because sila din, hindi naman sila naging okay up here. So be careful on that. Because we also need this thing called community. Not just any community. Community that is gospel-centric. Meaning to say, si Lord ang nag-orchestrate nitong klaseng healthy na influencers or influence sa buhay mo, di ba? Community is going to help save the day for those who are depressed. Now, remember this, you're not helpless because there is help out there. And you are never too weak to say, I need help. If you do, go ahead and reach out. Alam niyo yung isa sa target din ng depression pala, yung mga lalaki. Kasi ang mga lalaki, tahimik lang tayo, hindi tayo mahilig mag-open up kagaya ng mga women. So, I want to challenge you men out there to man up enough to open up if you have to. Just because you are sick. Now, I want to warn you also, if you think that you're not well up here, just because you are, let's say, mentally sick does not give you the license to run over people or treat them badly, no? So what's very challenging about taking care of our mental state is they haven't really found the right medicine yet. So parang si COVID lang, walang vaccine ng depression or mental health, even though they do have a lot of things that na pampakalma, pampatulog. But here's the thing that I find kind of strange. Even though they haven't found like the cure or vaccine for depression, it seems to me that they're not bashing science or medicine because it failed or it has not really helped that much. And yet, yung Christianity, yung faith natin, it tries to reach out and help, but it doesn't get bashed as much. I mean, okay, I read somewhere, sabi niya, please don't send me Bible verses because it's not helping me feel better. Really? Well, how about so many people I know who has been sent random Bible verses and they have overcome, they have been helped. So maybe it's not one size fits all, but we cannot dismiss the Bible. Especially, I remember one time when I was going through COVID, hindi ako matulog ng gabi, hindi pa ako makahinga, and I was just really worried. What did I do? I picked up the Bible. I read some verses. And that has helped me. And this kind of help that I received, I want to also share this with others. So it does work. It does work. So it is amazing how much hate Christianity is given or is looked down on. Perhaps it's because of those who refuse, I understand, to acknowledge or believe in depression or is gaslighting na tinatawag na hindi totoo yun, meron kang ganyan. Ayaw natin yung mga yun, and I'm not with those people. But what I'm saying is, research tells us that several aspects of religion or spiritual belief, including attending service or prayer, meditation, or sabihin natin yung mga tinuturo natin, congregational support systems, and relations with God, okay, this has positive effects sa mental health. It has proven that there are good outcomes when you do these things. Christ is really who's going to help us. Hindi lang totoo ang depression, totoo din yung salvation na binibigay ng Lord. And the Bible also tells us that we need to put on the mind of Christ. Why would the Bible tell us that? Well, Jesus also went through a depression stage. There was a time when he was really sad and he was telling, Lord, if pwede lang wag na ang mapagdaan na itong gagawin ko, wag na lang po. And he was abandoned, he was left behind. So he was really going through that hardship and those hard times, but he got through it. And so it's like him telling us, hey, if I did it, you can too. And he says also, take heart. In this world you have many trials, but I have overcome. Romans 15:5 says, may the God who gives endurance and encouragement give you the same attitude of mind and each other that Christ Jesus had. Our God is greater. He is above it all talaga. I like to say our majesty is greater than my anxiety or our anxiety. No matter what it is, if you're going through it, it's a time to experience God's presence and peace. It says in the verse, the God of peace will be with you. So if you think about these things, whatever's true, right, noble, admirable, trustworthy, yung mga bagay na ganun, and then you copy the right examples, then what happens is you experience something called peace. Of course, God's presence, you will really understand how it's there. I talked about that in the last episode of ATF. So rather than be overwhelmed sa mga stress, sa mga may stress sa'yo, mga problema sa buhay, suddenly you become overwhelmed by God's goodness and His presence. You experience the peace of God when you experience the God of peace. Huwag kayong magpaniniwala sa mga peace na ino-offer sa world na to kasi may mga pirated, may mga local, pero si Lord yung legit, yung urig. Alam nyo ba yun? Because Jesus says, the kind of peace that I give you is not like the peace that the world gives you. So in other words, meron peace na ino-offer ang world, but how long does it last? Just like something that is a knockoff or fake na mabilis masira. Well, si Lord, binibigyan niya yung matibay at talagang kailangan natin lahat. There's this peace of God because, well, He gives you this salvation, and then there's a victory, and then there's sanctification. So we're purified in our minds. We're sanctified. That's the Christian term here that we Nazarenes also like to use. Look, in 1 Thessalonians 5:23, God Himself, the God of peace, sanctify you through and through. Your whole spirit, it says there, soul and body be kept blameless until the coming of the Lord. 1 Peter 1:13, it says, therefore with minds that are alert and fully sober, set your hope on the grace to be brought to you when Jesus Christ is revealed at His coming.
Against the Flow.
You are still on Against the Flow, brought to you by the Church of the Nazarene and this station. Now, before I go, I want to remind you, please paki-like nyo lang po ang ating Facebook page. It's Against the Flow Radio. You could also send us your comments, suggestions. We'd love to hear from you guys. I myself, I try to check up there and to reply to every single email or message that I get. Also, speaking of email, our email address is weareagainsttheflow@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter @AgainstTheFlows, and our Instagram account is Against the Flow TV.
Against the Flow.
There's a lot of sad boys and sad girls in this world, and if you ask them why they would like to end their life already or why they would think about even suicide, it's because they find no more purpose in their life or there's no reason for them to go on anymore. But there needs to be purpose and passion, and that is something that is guided by God. Para tayo, we can have this will to live and survive. Not just survive, but to also thrive. That even during this pandemic, I read someone who made a post about them going through depression. And sabi niya, I am staying alive because I promised my mom that I will not hurt myself anymore. I am staying alive because I have a few friends who remain hopeful that I will be stronger and happier in the coming days. I find inspiration in simple things, learning Muay Thai, brewing maybe some coffee or tea, watering plants, walking the dog outside and feeling the sunshine. So there are those things out there. There's a lot of things, simple things that can help us become healthy. But I also want to remind you of the major things. Do not dismiss God. Let us not treat this like the incurable disease, like there's no hope anymore. Because sometimes, ang nangyayari, ang nakikita ko pa talaga, marami ina-advocate ang depression and then like there's no answer to it. It's like we just have to stick around, and that's true also. Let me read to you again what the person who made the post said. It feels so much better to say that I am not okay. Sabi niya ganun. But I want to remind you, don't stay that way. There's a temptation kasi to just remain there. Being okay is still better. Being okay does not become not okay just because it's okay to not be okay. So we need to learn to fight those inner demons. And speaking of demons, there's a story of this demon-possessed guy in the Bible in Mark chapter 5 verse 1 to 20. He was a demon-possessed person living in the cave. So he was by himself, he was alone. And if you read it, it's kind of strange. He cuts himself with stones. So what does that remind you of, right? I mean, he was probably going through some depression also while at it. So what happened was Jesus sets him free and he was healed. So why am I telling you this today? Why am I sharing this? Because I want to say this. Why flex the sickness when we could be flexing the healer? Mas bida po, mas malakas si Jesus kaysa sa anumang lungkot na maranasan natin sa mundong ito. That's why Philippians 4:7 says, the peace of God transcends all understanding. So, hindi natin maintindihan paano ba si COVID na nag-work, or how does depression really work in people. But guess what? Peace that transcends all understanding. We may not understand all those things completely, but God's peace will help us. And guess what it says there? It says it will guard our hearts and our minds. So that's it for today. Thank you so much and happy World Mental Health. May all of us be healthy up here. Bantayan po natin ating mga kalusugan, not just physical, but also emotional and mental, okay? My name is Jordan and I'm reminding you only dead fish swim with the current. So lahat tayo, let's go. Sama-sama tayong against the flow.
Kontra mi sa sug, kutok yan agos. Laban ako sa agos.